Okay, so for the major diatonic, we're just going to play the string shapes. And here they're shown stacked up, as many stacks as possible, so we can see every combination the way we would go. You know, starting from the C here, it'd be 3, 4, 5, then to the G, 6, 7 root, then to the D, 2, 3, 4. This is in the C cage. 5, 6. Now the 7 we have to bring over 1. So it's 7 root 2, and then 3, 4, 5 again. Okay, so no matter where we start, we're going to be stacking them like that. And if we start from the top and start going down, they actually go in fourths. The fourth of A is D, the fourth of D is G, the fourth of G is C. It's just the CE relationship is always a third. Okay, so the fourth of C, you know, the string shaped fourth of C is going to be E, and then going up in fifths, the string shaped fifth of E is going to be C. That's all. That's the anomaly there. You got to get used to it. It just doesn't fit in. It's kind of abstract. Okay, and that is not because of the tuning warp that I know of. It's because of the major scale, the way it works out. So for modal, start the scale at the new note. So if we want a modal scale, say a Dorian, we start the thing from 2. We can do that from the bottom string. Here's a Dorian scale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2. Ready? Okay. Start the scale from the new note. We can do that even with Lydian. We can start on the C shape over here, 3, 4, 5, and just start that and follow the C pattern. That's a Lydian fourth right there. We can even start the Mixolydian from that 5 without going into the A pattern. We can go like back into the C pattern. As long as we follow the C diatonic. And that would be following the string shapes as listed here, unchanged. We play every single one of them. Okay, now it'll be more apparent when we get to the other qualities that we're going to be using, where these notes actually are within the string shapes. But here's how they stack up boxes, box by box, except for the tuning warp. Okay, so if you've crossed this pattern into the B string and the high E string, you have to move it over. Okay, you'll get used to that. So it's like riding a bicycle. So with the major diatonic, we start the scale at the new note and just follow the diatonic scale. For the major pentatonic now, it's a little different. It's easier. So now we've subtracted the fourth and the seventh from these guys. So see, we have some blanks here. So the G, instead of being 6, 7 root, is going to be 6 root. C is going to be 3, 5 instead of 3, 4, 5. E is going to be root 2 instead of 7 root 2. And A is going to be 5, 6 as usual. D is going to only be 2, 3. So when we chart a D pentatonic, here's 2, 3, like that. 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6, root, 2, 3. Okay? So that's how the short pattern works there. With the pentatonics, are still pretty much an easy zone, except for one thing. When we want to substitute, when we want to go to the fourth or the fifth, okay, we're going to substitute the fourth pentatonic and the fifth pentatonic, but not the diatonic. So say we're in the key of C. Okay, so we're in the C box. Here's 3, 4, 5. All right, we want to go to the fourth. We want to play that pentatonic scale starting from that fourth. So here's our C pentatonic scale. It's root 2, 3, 5, 6. But the pentatonic scale for the fourth is 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, root 2. Okay? Instead of having to remember 4, 5, 6, root 2, we can just substitute the fourth pentatonic All right, so the fourth of C, remember I told you about the C-E relationship? The fourth of C is going to be E. So we would just play an E pattern from there. And the E pattern would be root 2, and then we go over it for the 3-5 and the 6 root, which we have because we're in F. Like say in the key of C, we're doing an F here. We're not doing, you know, the long C. We're not doing an F, an E-shaped E. We're doing an E-shaped F. So we just pretend like we're playing the fourth pentatonic. We can't do the diatonic at that point because we'll go out of the key. It has to be a substitution in pentatonics where we don't deal with the fourth because there's no fourth in a pentatonic scale. So we would just play an E pentatonic there. Of course, you want to look at these in string shapes too, you know. So you'd be looking this as root 2. Okay, root 2, 3-5. So if you're at 3-5, that's a C string shape. See what I'm saying? You can play a C cage shape right there. You just move it up, move it through the warp, and it obviously it becomes a different string shape there. It becomes the E string shape. Same thing with the fifth. So we substitute the fifth there. You know, to get to the fifth, we're going to play the fifth of C, which is the G string shape. So we just play the G pentatonic there. See, we can't play a G diatonic there because then it would be going into the key of G. We don't want the F sharp unless we want the F sharp. Then we play the F sharp, you know. Okay, but still that would be, you know, kind of in the key of G there. So that's the way that works. And then we go into the major triads where we're subtracting now the second and the sixth from that pentatonic, and we're left with 5-3 root, 3-5 root right there. And that's what we're going to play to get these strange shaped arpeggios. So if we're in the A cage, say we're in the A cage here, A shape C, all we have to do is start from that A and play the string shape associated with that A, which is 5, and then root, then 3-5, then root. Okay, above G is, we go back around here to the D here, so we go to the third there, but we got to warp that up. It's not a major third anymore. It's a moved over third, so it's a P3 third, which is straight up. That's our D, and then we go to the 5 again, just like that. So what we got is okay. That's our a triad starting from the A, which is, so it's the second inversion triad. Okay. So the string shapes, you know, we simply can play those string shapes. And so you get used to this because this is just the major triad. The pentatonics are pretty easy. You know, everybody knows what they were, the definers of all these patterns I made anyway. So this is the first thing I learned. I didn't learn diatonics before I learned pentatonics. I learned pentatonics. Of course, everybody learns these ones, but in chords. So we're doing these static chords, but if you learn the string shapes, you can start from any one of the positions. These are the cage positions, and just go up the string shapes like that. Now let's look at minor pentatonic. Minor pentatonic, the same substitution trick works for the fourth and the fifth. Okay, so we don't have to remember, oh, 4 is 4-6 root. We can just play root 3-5 of the fourth string shape, or a fourth cage position away, which would be caged backwards, skipping every other letter. So the fourth of C would be skip the D and go to E. All right, so that's what it is.